So can you read the book I show? Yeah, so here the book we use. Okay. Okay, so in these materials, in this book, we talk about the use of artificial intelligence for business optimization. Okay, so that can help to optimize the business process and change the way business making a value. All right, so we understand that business with the business process can make value for customers, but we also know that the customer needs change on the time, right? On the time. So when you do the business, if you stay with one model forever, we may have wrong, right? We cannot adapt with the change in the market, and sometimes we will lose the customers. So we just learned about the BI, a new information system with the data analysis tools that can help to predict or to catch the trends of the market in the future, and based on that we can revise the business strategy, the plan for long term and short terms, and even for operational activity as well, right? Daily activity. So everyday business activity also help by the use of the BI. Okay, so how can that possible? Because if we want to do like help with daily activity, we need some system that's super fast, right? Analyze data and answer the results right away, so that they can employ and apply into the operational activity. So that's because we use the AI, right? AI can have results super fast with the help of the modern computing systems. Okay, so last here we say AI can help with the business optimization. So business process optimization can be done using AI. So with the help of the AI, you can see that we can do you can have the ability of the agility, right? Business agility is somehow like showing the flexibility of business. So it's helping the business adapt with the new needs. Okay, so doing the same business but different model, different process or revised process. Okay, that's very important. So sometimes we see this term a lot, right? Agility, okay, agility or agile for the adverbs. So this so how the business can adapt with the new with the new need. Okay, that's so here is a flexible business. Okay, they can change by the need of the user and environment. Okay, so that's very important because like we see it change all the time. Okay, so AI can help with every context like that. So even if the other thing regarding the business PO, right, including the collaboration, including the new libraries, and including the business continuum or continuity as well. Okay, so all of these issues can be done using AI. So what is AI and what it helps in order to help business? So here you can see AI is a research area in which we focusing on how to make the computer like mimic or to simulate or follow the way people usually do in order to address the problem. Okay, but do that more effective. Okay, do that without a need of rest. Okay, and more correct, right? Because mistake cannot like computer cannot make any calculation mistake, or it never get tired or whatever, right? But the way we teach them is always like based on what we done so far. Okay, and asking them to follow, to reproduce. Okay, to mimic, to do the similar way. And so that's with that being said, you should like never think that someday AI at the moment can like take the job from human beings, right? They can do some regular or normal tasks only. They cannot do some tasks require more cognitive sense, right? So if like something like invent or innovation can only be done by human beings, not by computers, okay, not by AI at the moment. Maybe in the next 5 years, for example, the thing may change, but at least in the next 5 years you cannot see anything like people usually talk about. Okay, AI is still very idiot. Okay, it's somehow stupid. So in AI we have many sub area, subdomain, like the machine learning. So AI here we can see a subset of it, the machine learning. So machine learning simply like focusing on how to make the machine learn what people did, right? And in order to redo it, okay, reuse the way people solve the problem and solving the problem as well. And in the machine learning, we do have a smaller part that's deep learning. So machine learning has been out there for like more than 40 years, trying to learn the thing in a simple way. Okay, learn the things in a very simple way at one level only. So it learn the thing it see, not go deep into the thing it learned already. No, never. So that means machine learning is somehow one layer learning, right? We learn the thing and that's it. Deep learning, making something different. So it learn and relearn on what it has learned so far, right? So it learn and check what it has learned so far in order to make use of the learned stuff. Okay, so in order to make the use of the knowledge it gets, and then make it more effective, right? More useful. So deep learning is somehow better than machine learning because it learn and learn again. So it's somehow like multiple layers learning, okay, multiple layer learning. But it's better, but it requires more because if relearn, that means it consumes more computing resource, right? Because it does the job once, it takes less time. But now it does the job multiple times, so it requires more computing resource, right? More CPU, more time running the program, more storage to store the thing it learned, because it's learn and learn over and over again. So that means it requires more space to store the thing. So that's the disadvantage, and somehow we call that the disadvantage. Okay. So with the use of the deep learning, we can solve the problem better. But remember, because it's learned again over and over again, sometimes it go down one side learning. Okay, because like when we learn a thing, we need to learn everything. If you want to be a mindset, a very broad view person, you need to learn a lot of things. If you keep learning only one thing, one side, sometimes you have very narrow view for a given problem, because like you turn out to be a machine if you learn one thing. Deep learning somehow like that, it keeps learning one side, very hard to turn. So sometimes it's like getting a narrow view, solving the problem in a narrow way. Okay, it can very good at some, but not good at the other. That's the problem. Okay, so anything here you can say they have the advantage and disadvantage. Machine learning can learn a thing once using less computing resource, but have like a lower accuracy in the performance, right? That means lower performance. But deep learning can do that better. In return, it then require more computing resource, right? And then also sometimes it falls into a narrow approach. Okay, so that's we call the limitation of the deep learning. But when we use it, we should know that, right? We should know that. We know the advantage and disadvantage of the machine learning and deep learning, so that we have a plan to use them more effectively. Okay. So here is a very good view about the AI, machine learning, and deep learning. And in the machine learning and deep learning, we know that they tell the computer to learn. So how to make the computer learn? We have many different approach. Okay, so here we can like jump up over here. I need to go to the machine learning in detail, so we're discussing more about that. So you can see that the use of the AI in business optimization is very helpful. And how can the machine learning do that? So we can go to the next chapter here. We talk about the learning in the machine learning. Okay. So machine learning, as we know, is a part of artificial intelligence. Okay, of AI, and it can help with making the machine learn and work. Okay, and from machine learning we also have a sub area research area, which is the deep learning. Okay, but we not go deep into that. We just have a broad view on the machine learning. So how can the machine learning learn the thing? Okay, so these are the steps the machine learning learn. Okay, so it always start with a problem. Okay, whenever like us, whenever we do a study, we always start with a subject, right? What subject we study about, and then after that we collect the materials, the learning materials, and we apply the method, learning method to learn, right? To study the materials, and then we try to evaluate ourselves, right? Or the university or the school will evaluate us by using the exam, and finally we check out, right? We're done because we have evaluation as a study results. Or sometimes we do more by apply what we learn into problem solving. That's better, right? That's better than taking the exam, because when you want to apply the thing you learn into solving problem, you do more job, right? More things, making you understand more about the subject. So here machine learning does the same thing. How can it learn? First of all, it should define the problem, right? So at first it should know what the problem to learn, okay? Then after that it prepare the data, right? Like us prepare the materials. So machine learning needs the data. So that way we say the data is the full, okay? The very essential stuff for machine learning. Without machine learning, without data, and then no machine learning, okay? Like us, without book, no study, right? We don't know what to study, what we follow. So the next step is to prepare the data, okay? And based on the data, machine learning will making a model, okay? Create a model. The model can be defined in prior, okay? Defined previously, or can be defined by the machine learning itself. So it tries itself its best to figure out the model, okay? After having the model, the machine then tuning the model, okay? Because the model by the first time is very simple. Sometimes it's like initial state, okay? Sometimes it's very initial. And then the machine learning will tuning the model according to the data it has, okay? So the machine learning has the data, right? And now it tune the model. So in order to tune the model, the machine learning using mathematics, okay? Using statistics, okay, and mathematics. So those helpful tools can help to tuning, okay, to adjust the model in machine learning. And after adjust the model, that means after learning, okay, that's the way machine learning. And then it's then test itself, okay, like because the machine learning don't go to take the exam, so it should test itself, okay. So it tests itself by using the model testing step, okay. So in this step, machine learning simply like test itself to make sure it learns correctly, okay. So if it reproduces the wrong thing, that means it learned wrongly. That's it. Very simple for machine learning. After learning, it try to reproduce, okay, reproduce what it learned. If the thing it produced similar to the thing it learned, then it's success, okay. It made a success. It's success. Otherwise, it failed, right? So it should relearn, okay. So machine learning testing will have it know, will have to know whether it does a right job, good job or not, okay. So after it's done with learning, the machine learning will be used, okay, to work, okay. So it's go to work by doing some prediction job, okay, or analyzing job. So now the machine learning have the model, right? So that means now machine learning have something or know something about the reality, the world out there. So now it's go to job by predict to help the people, to help the business. Okay, so the prediction is the working step, and after it works, it should like update, right? Update like people. We go to school and then we go to work, and sometimes we go back to take some like improvement course, right? So for machine learning, they do maintenance. Okay, so they maintain their model using the new data, because after it works, it sees some new data, right? Some new data, some new changes come, right? So it should like adjust itself again. So that's why we call the machine learning doing maintenance. Okay, run the maintenance. So that's the way machine learning do every day, do back and forth, do working, testing, and then retraining, and then testing, working, and so on like that, right? So that's way making the model in a machine learning always describe correctly the problem out there. Okay, so if the problem changes, the machine learning changes the model as well in order to giving out the right solution for the new problem. Okay, that's way. So that's good thing, because every step like this will be done automatically. We do not, human beings do no need to do. Just let the computer running, okay, and then the computer programs will update, running, and so on like this. We do not need to do anything. Okay, so that's why we say the machine learning somehow make the computer smart, right? Because it know what to do next without the instruction from the human beings. That's better than the math and the statistics model, right? The math and the statistics model need to be updated by the user, by the human beings. But machine learning model can be done automatically and can be adjusted accordingly with the change in the reality. Okay. So in the machine learning, like we just said, we talk about the model. Remember, the model here may be a system of formula. So a system of math formula may be a model in machine learning, but sometimes it's a structure, okay, a computing structure, like a decision tree, right? In the previous slides, we talked about the decision trees. Decision tree is not a math model, but a computer model, right? So in which they represent the if-else, right? If-else rules to discriminate the solution for a given condition, right? So if this or that or that. Remember, machine learning model may be a math model, okay, a mathematics model, or may be also a computing model. Computer models like we see that with the trees, okay, or a chart, okay, a graph, or maybe a semantic network, whatever, a lot of models out there. Okay. And when we say that machine learning can adjust the parameters model, remember when we talk about the machine learning step, they will adjust, they will tune, change the parameter in the model. So that means in machine learning model, we also have the parameters like mathematics models. So the parameter can be changed freely, okay, can be tuned freely. That means not follow any assumption or data distribution. So in such a case, we say these are the non-parametric model. So in machine learning, maybe non-parametric model, but may somehow parametric model. Parametric, that means exactly the way the mathematics and statistics do, right? They assume that the data, the underlying data distribution should be this model or that model, right? Follow some normal distribution, for example. But in machine learning, they may ask for that, but they may not. They somehow say no need to do so, because the machine learning can use the computing power in order to figure out the data distribution. somehow not following any predefined data distribution like in math. Okay, so that makes the machine learning better than mathematics. Okay, in terms of solving the reality, the real world problem, right? Problem out there. Okay, and like we said, the process of tuning the parameter we call the training. Okay, so training, that means we tune the parameter in the machine learning model, and after done we asking it to test, right? But during the training, the machine learning also testing something. That is the validation step. So when it learns, it tests right away. It's not waited until the last minute, because machine learning, like us, always like do the feedback right away, right? When you learn something, you need to test yourself as well. Like today we learn something, we need to make a quiz as well. That means we validate what we just learned. And then when you go home, you have more time, you can redo that. Okay, so that means we are in this class doing the way machine learning does. Okay, learning, validation, and then testing later on, and like this. Okay, so testing is a way we completely validate the entire model. Okay, and how can machine learning know it does the wrong or right thing? It's based on some in this. Okay, the first one is the loss function. So if this in this telling something large, big, that means the machine learning somehow go too far. Okay, go wrong. So the loss function should be minimized. That means the machine learning learn the right thing. Or it should put in the confusion matrix. That means the machine learning stick with the problem. If it loses the confusion matrix, it does the thing that the problem doesn't ask for. Okay, and besides this, we also have precision and recall. Some of this that you know, right? In business management, we learn about the accuracy, precision, and recall, and we also use some F score, combining up search indices into a new score. Okay, into a new index. So all of search can help us to measure how correctly the machine learning does when doing learning from data. Okay, and like I said, overfitting is the way the machine learning go to down one side. So it go to one side, learn something very correctly, but not for the other thing. So in such a case, go one side can make overfitting. So this is a problem of learning. Sometimes we learn something, but we didn't learn in general. We go deep into one side, making overfitting like this. Okay, and again, if you go too general, right, we didn't go too deep, so we learn something underfitting. So either of ways is not good. You need to trade off among them. Okay, learning something, you need to learn general and also learn into specific thing. Okay, go deep. You cannot just learn something like in general like this, but I don't know in detail, so that's wrong. Or sometimes you say, oh, in detail for this, from this context or in this angle, I see this, but from the other side, I don't know, so that's wrong as well. So that's the problem with learning. And machine learning also have two. So here we have two cases, overfitting and underfitting. Okay. So that means when machine learning learn, it learn like the way we people do. Okay, people do. So it's similar. And yeah. So for the other term like data cleansing, we talk about that, right? Because we have the data with noise, data with missing value, or data with consistency or whatever. So we need to pre-process them, making the data cleansing. Or messy data, if we don't put them in a well organized, so that's impossible to use in machine learning. Okay. So yeah, we have a lot of things. So just simply like remember that machine learning learn from data, and for machine learning, data are very important. Without data, we cannot do machine learning. Okay. And here we have some simple method, but I don't ask you guys to go deep in that because it's a lot. Okay. It's sometimes complicated. So just know like that. So remember, machine learning can help, okay, with learning from data. So now, like we said before, in data mining we can have unsupervised, right, data mining or supervised data mining. So why and where they come from? That's because the data mining using machine learning. So if they use supervised learning, and then they have supervised data mining, right? If they use unsupervised learning, and then they have unsupervised data mining. So here is an example of the unsupervised. So when you cluster your customer into segments, okay? So if you do custom segmentation of your customer into group, and then you do unsupervised learning or unsupervised data mining, right? Because we have no assumption in prior. We didn't assume that this guy belongs to this group or that guy belongs to that group. No, we just let the machine do it. Okay, so that means we do unsupervised learning. We not get them to do the thing. They do itself. That the machine learning does itself. So some common methods here is k-means clustering algorithm. So skip it. I don't want you to get hurt with that. Okay. So beside the unsupervised learning, we have supervised learning, right? So what is supervised learning? Supervised learning will use the predefined things, okay? So for example, here is a table of things, okay? So you see every column here like input, and you have an output here, like low, whatever here, in somehow like this, okay? So that can be considered as a output, the class, okay? So the machine learning will learn all the attributes here in order to help us to make a decision on the classification here, okay? So input are on the column here, every value here, and it will output something. So machine learning will look at this and say, oh, for this observation it should be like this, for the second observation it should be like this, and so on. So based on that, the machine learning will learn. So such a case we call the supervised learning. And once done, the machine learning can work like if we give it an information about an observation like this, and then it will answer correctly, okay? It will answer us the thing out here, output here. So that's the supervised learning. So you can say two popular approach, two popular methods for machine learning is supervised and unsupervised learning. We can combine them. So we have the semi-learning, maybe semi-supervised learning or semi-unsupervised learning. And besides that, we have reinforcement learning. Okay, so now learning not only using the validation in this, but also reward in this. Okay, so in the previous slide we talked about that machine learning will check the learning process using in this, right? So now it can use reward in this in order to adjust it better. Okay, so that's about the machine learning, and you can see. Remember, you can check the book Artificial Intelligence for Business Optimization. It will talk more about the machine learning, and you can use, you can check many things here. And so here you can see they can be used machine learning for trading. Okay. So in order to do the optimal trading, if you do stock market, okay, you may build many portfolio, right? You have, assuming that you have like 3 portfolios, and then you want to optimize, you want to do some optimal trading. Okay, you can invest, you can draw some, right? So that's how to do it optimal in order to benefit, okay, to get money. So you can use AI with machine learning because it can learn in the past can help you in the current or present, and then with a better solution or results. Okay, so remember, machine learning can help with business optimization, business process, business like trading, business like customer service, or whatever business you do, you can use machine learning. Okay, so in this book you can find a lot of number of this problem from the business that machine learning can help. All right. So for your final project, if you not yet have a topic or a problem, you can check in this book. Okay, in this book they do have a lot of good example for use of the new technology in business. Okay, so remember the book. This is the artificial intelligence for business optimization. Okay, and they are a set. This book is a set of research article. You can see in this. Okay, a lot. A second one is about the digital transformation. Okay, we know about this a lot. These days we talk about the digital transformation, right? We talk about the industry revolution 4. Okay, we go through many revolutions. We go to the first one already, a long time ago already. We go to the first revolution, right? We go to the second revolution. Okay, so you can see it. Second industrial revolution, and then we go to the third industrial revolution when we use the computer, we use the network, and then now we are in the fourth industrial revolution, industry 4.1, 4.1, 4.20. So people talking about this a lot, right? Even if they tell about something that never happened. Okay. But anyway, we can see that the change, okay, of the technology can impact the way we do business. Okay, so that makes the need of the business transformation with the digital industry, right? So we call this the business digital transformation. And so in order to do that, you can see how AI can help. Okay, it's very important. AI can help with the digital transformation, and what should we do? Okay, should we prepare for that? So we do have a number of things. And then in this, they also show us the emerging technology that urge the transformation. Okay, so you can see the emerging technology here that urge that accelerate the digital transformation. Okay, accelerated. So what are the technology here? Okay, so business transformation come from this technology. The first one is the Internet of Things. Okay, so Internet of Things is the first set of technology accelerate the business digital transformation. So we know about this, right? So I do not need to reintroduce about that. So Internet of Things with the connectivity, with the Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, high-speed internet, and a lot of things, and also the smartphone and making the connection easier than ever. So that's one. Also the 5G technology as well. Okay, so that's one thing. And the sensing, right? Sensor. The Internet of Things helping making us help with the censoring or monitoring. So that also accelerate the business transformation. The computing, right? Computing, because these days you can see the device turn out to be cheaper and stronger, faster, and then making the use of the computing everywhere. Okay, cloud computing, right? Cloud computing. So you can choose any topic from this for your final project. Okay, so also the cloud computing, machine learning platform, right? AI and machine learning platform. So AI here very important. Machine learning platform. These days you can see many platforms out there, including Amazon, right? Amazon, Microsoft, BI, or Google Collab, Google platform, cloud platform as well. You can do a lot. Okay, and virtual agent, right? So like chatbots can help with the chat box. Okay. Image recognition, right? It can like recognize the thing in a given image. So now the computer can see, it can learn, right? It can read, it can write, and now it can see from the image. It get information from image, right? So image recognition. Big data, right? We know that big data, the data from social network or big data. Robotics, right? So now you can see that the computer can do like the people, okay? Robot out there a lot, so it can help with taking care of the patient, right? It can moving the thing, transport the thing, and working in the dangerous place on this robotic. Okay, so we also see the medical robots, right? In the pandemic, we can see it. They help to bring the stuff to the patient instead of human beings. That's do, and that's most helpful, right? Drone, right? This kind of device can fly and bring the thing, monitoring the thing as well, and it's mobile, right? It can move, so it's very helpful. Drone, and on the other service like the healthcare, insurance industry with the help of the machine learning, the live entertainment, AR, virtual environment. We talked last time. So this also emerging technology. Okay, medical application and application in manufacturing, 3D printing, right? 3D printing is very helpful. At the moment, they can make the products from plastic, okay, fibers. Hopefully, in the future, they make from any kind, like concrete, metal, or whatever, right? And maybe in the future, you can go to the phở restaurant, and then your phở will be printed, right? You do not need to go to, no need to have a chip to do the thing. Okay? Simply using the 3D. And a lot of technology like this. Okay, so all of these things can help with your final project. And if you want to check them, remember the name of the book. This is a business digital transformation. Okay, so you can check the book like this. Digital transformation in the business here. Okay, so remember these two materials can help you with a lot with reviewing what we learned so far. Okay, and also with preparing for your final projects. Okay, so that's it for today. We covered two chapter 10 and 9. We have 2 more chapters and then, okay, And then for the book, try to search. I'm sure you guys know how to search, right? Because this book may be available there, and then you can try to search for them. Yeah, I'm not allowed to copy to you, but hope you know how to search. And in case you reach out for the book but could not find it, I will ask some guy to help. Okay. So yeah, that's for the materials. So remember, we have 2 more materials here, 2 more books to read and to prepare for the final projects. And I think these books are good for you to read, to understand more about the technology. I have been checking a lot of books about new technology application in business, and I found these 2 books the best one. Okay, the best ones, because the other book just say the weird or wrong thing, not correct at all. Okay, but this book super good, and they knew, right? Because this guy is 2020, the other is 2021. Okay, so they just like a year or 2 away from now. So that's new. That's new. So try to check this book. Okay. So any question about the books, just feel free to let me know. Okay. So yeah, that's it for today. So any question, go to the Microsoft Teams. Let me know. Okay, any question? Okay, any question about the materials and then the final project? Remember, we have the book about AI for business. It's very good book to read, and then also some topics to talk about. Check it. Okay, so AI for business is good. For your final project. Okay. And also we have industrial digital transformation as well. The book on industrial digital transformation with numerous topic. Okay, so in this we have topic to choose. So if you don't have the topic yet, then go to that book, because they new, right? So the first book is 2021, the second one 2020, so that's new. Okay. So if you don't have any question, and then yeah, we stop right now. Okay. If no question, then you can quit.